Cool. All right.
Yes.
Lead comes in and fills out our little form, goes to our raffle, enters their info in, and they're in my GHL,
Yeah.
right? Now, in the old days, what I'd have to do is the next day after the event, go through, see who was added through either that specific form or had that specific tag, take a list, export the CSV, because that's the only way I'm going to get it to you, right? And then I email
Right.
you the CSV and you get to import it, right? And now what you're saying is, no, on that form, when it fills out, yes, they automatically get added to Josh's cake CRM.
Yeah.
But right after that, boom, they're getting shot into Virginia's flower CRM. Bada bing, bada boom. My work is done.
That's it. Okay, so we're doing something a little different on the Marketer's Toolkit in the Spotlight series. Dr. Josh Satterlee is here with us again. And instead of doing a highlight on him, he's going to highlight my business.
Yeah.
So, Josh, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah. Thanks, Virginia. We had this idea because, one of the great things about this podcast is you get to see under the hood of everybody else's GHL instance and pick up on stuff. But the whole reason you're doing this is because you are an amazing user of the Marketer's Toolkit as well, right? And so I would hate to only have that camera pointing one way. I was thinking, why don't we go in and look at why you fell in love with it in the first place to the point where you're willing to do the podcast, right?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
So I think a lot of people, especially if they're watching this, are thinking, oh, Virginia, all she does is work with the Marketer's Toolkit, but you actually have your own business that got you started in this. So tell everybody a little bit about like what you do and who you serve and kind of like what your business is.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started out in the acting and education industry. I have like this full kind of multifaceted background. I was very overworked. So I had my massage therapy practice. I built a 501c3 nonprofit theater company. I did health and wellness and all of that stuff while I was teaching full time. And I realized I couldn't do it all because I got an autoimmune disease. So I
Yeah.
had to give that up and I started a coaching practice, a life and business coaching practice. What I learned through that was that I was pretty darn good at tech because so many people were getting stuck in their tech. And so I started helping
Yeah.
people on Wix and Squarespace and Kajabi and you name it. I was learning systems and helping my clients with those systems. You can know if you're a GHL user, you know where this is going. Back in 2020, I realized that I could use applications that I was already building out. I was kind of like doing some, innocent coding stuff back in the day with GHL. I could stack it on top. And I really wanted to make a customized version of HighLevel because I knew that my people coming in were not techie at all. And the interface of HighLevel is like made for a man marketer. Like for me, it's very confusing and not intuitive at all. And so I was like, I need to build an interface, like a front facing interface that my clients could actually use. And so I started looking around for people to help me develop this. And it was taking a long time. I wish I had found the Marketer's Toolkit sooner because it's so freaking easy to use and build what you want to build. Like that's what I love about the Marketer's Toolkit is that like it allowed me to do like the custom CSS is great and you can go on the back end and do that if you want. JavaScript is great. You can go on the back end and do that if you want, but it keeps breaking and you have to end up being the developer or hiring out constantly somebody to fix the darn thing. And then there was Tom
Yeah.
and the Marketer's Toolkit. And I come in and I build out what we know as, I call it now the Soulpreneurs Suite, but it's Soul Software by Soulpreneurs.
And you're spelling soul, not SOLE as in alone. You're selling soul as in your
SOU.
logos, your soul, your beliefs, right? SOUL.
Yeah. So my business is called the Soulpreneurs Association, and it is built with those heart-centered entrepreneurs and small businesses in mind. I deal with a lot of nonprofits. I have a vet and pet hospital. I have real estate agents that are just going with their passion for their love of real estate. I work with people who truly just absolutely love what they do and they're willing to put their hearts in front of it all. Like be vulnerable, be all of who you are for your
Yeah.
business. And it doesn't matter what that business is. And that's why we're called Soulpreneurs.
Well, I think it's going to be super easy interview for me because if I just ask you one question, you're going to give me like 10 minutes of content. So this is fantastic. But
Yeah. So
yeah.
I've been in
Well,
the Marketer's Toolkit for like 3-4 years now. So yeah, I can
yeah. I want to go
show
back
you
though,
around.
because I think one of the things we all make a mistake when we use a marketer's toolkit is you have to be relatively comfortable with GHL, right? And then you're like, hey, I want it to do X, Y, Z. What I'd love to do is really make sure, like, as you know, in education, the fundamentals are the hardest thing to kind of translate at first, right? And so I
Yes.
think we can go back. There you are with your early business and you're going through and you wanted to do these customizations. You want to do it. And for anybody
Mhm.
listening, don't be intimidated by CSS and JavaScript. CSS is basically how it looks and JavaScript is what it does, right? So
That's really
those
good.
things, if a developer ever says that to you, all it is just change the look of it or change the function of it, right? So there you are, and you're like, hey, I'm looking at this thing thinking, this is not designed for me. This is not designed for my type of client. This is way too blocky and hard edges and rigid. And these are people with dream catchers suspended on their ceiling, right? Like, this isn't going to work. So what was the very first thing that you wanted to change and that you went about changing with the toolkit? Because if I've seen your dashboard, and I think you've changed about 80,000 things, but what was the very
Mhm.
first thing where you're like, oh my gosh, I can do this, and this changes how my people feel?
First thing was the sidebar menu. The
Okay.
sidebar menu, trying to find what you just need to
Yeah.
find in high level.
Yeah.
It's like marketing. The whole thing is marketing. Why do we have marketing on the sidebar? To me, in my
Sure.
mind.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing I went in and changed was the sidebar menu. I made the function like what people are seriously looking for first at the top, and then I put the rest in alphabetical order, and that just made sense to me.
Okay. Yeah. So for anybody listening with the toolkit, you can reorder things on the left. You can change the name of the options. You can reduce the options. You can eliminate them, right? You can add in things. You can put dividers. Divider is natively, there's a little line. You can add multiple lines. You can do a lot of things to make it more understandable for your people. I've never heard of anybody making it alphabetically ordered, but duh, that's like a commonly duh organization step. So that's fantastic. And so what were things you moved to the top because your people really love them? So I'll tell you this,
Right.
I'm in healthcare. We never, ever, ever use estimates and invoices, right? It's just not something you're going to get in a chiropractic office. But if you're a roofer, if you're doing HVAC, that's probably the primary thing you want. And we're
Right.
very appointment driven and we're conversation driven. Because people are like, when's
Right.
my appointment? Can I reschedule? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, totally. Let me share my screen. I'll just show you.
Okay.
So can you see it okay, Josh?
Yep. The Soul
Okay, perfect.
Software expert hours are live. I love it.
Yes, yes. I'll tell you more about this in a second. But on the sidebar
Yeah.
here, we have your awesome setup, home screen dashboard, support hub, print materials, tasks. That's all at the top. And then it goes into
Okay.
alphabetical order. So basically,
Yeah.
awesome setup is I love this. This is all Marketer's Toolkit. And it's even easier now. I'm about to convert it over into the agency toolkit. So basically, the agency toolkit for the Marketer's Toolkit is a way for you to be able to have a setup ready made for your clients. So that way when they come in, like your settings their settings are filled out. So their business information, but also it's based on custom values. So this is when they put in these items, so core identity, visual brand colors, brand voice, marketing, copy, and social handles, it's all going into custom values. And if you understand custom values and the power of them, you can actually
Yeah.
change a whole website based on custom values. Or
Can I tell a story?
yeah, please do.
Yeah. So we were the first time I ever really experienced the power of custom values. So think of custom values as things about your company and custom fields about things about the person, the contact, right? So custom values, we were doing a webinar and the date and time, right? We're like, hey, that webinar went really good. Let's do it again. And so we started updating the date and time in our SMS messages for the second one and on our landing pages and the emails and then the follow-up and then the Zoom link and all these things, right? Well, my staff calculated that there were 47 different places that we updated those between all the,
Oh my gosh.
hey, don't forget to show up SMS series, and then the don't forget to show up email series, and then the landing page, and then the Facebook thing. And when we change them to custom values, you update it one time and it updates all 47 places, right? Now, think
Right?
about
That's
if you were,
so much
yeah,
time.
if you were a Starbucks and you have a very specific green color and you're saying everywhere we want brand color, make it this specific hex code green, how many places is you going to Starbucks is that hex code green going to be all around the building, right? And imagine if you just clicked a button, change it one place, and bloop, 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 all
It's
changed.
so good. That's such a good
Yes.
example. Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So what
exactly.
Virginia is
Exactly.
saying is if you're going to build this essentially the same thing for everybody, but allowing them to have their own hex code color, their, their own logo and their own name, but you can think about all the places you're going to have that. Yeah. So I'm seeing branding and visual colors. This is awesome. Hey, we're going to make
Yeah.
it yours without making our team angry about the places we have to update this.
Exactly. And here is another little thing that makes like a huge difference in the marketer's toolkit is in forms. You can actually have this thing where it drops down and you can
The
see
color
the
picker.
color. Yeah, the
I love
color
it.
picker. I mean, that's to me, that's
Yeah.
huge. I'm like, oh my God, somebody can pick. So if you're a marketing agency and you are trying to get somebody to say, okay, what are your brand colors? What are this and that and the other? I'm sure you have forms or surveys that have that kind of questionnaire. And
Yeah.
for them to even understand some people to understand what their RGB or their hex code is, like people don't
Yeah.
know that, but they can pick out a color that looks like their brand and then
Yeah.
go with it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Another thing is the choose the file, and it has actually the
Is
picture
that the
pop
logo?
up. Yeah, those are things that are just like the little things that are in the marketer's toolkit that go a long way for your people and for you and your agency.
I think one thing too, when you make these customizations, like you said specifically, your customer is not tech savvy, right? And
Right.
some people look at that and go, oh man, they're not my customers. They're just not tech savvy and blah, blah. And what I hear is awesome. There is a huge moat around your business when they're not tech savvy and you are. Because
That's
if you
right.
serve them, if you are the person that makes it look their way and makes it feel like their own, they're never going to leave you. Because if they're not tech savvy, jumping to another platform or another agency is to them overwhelming. For a
Right.
developer or somebody that's easy in GHL, come on, you do it every day. Like, oh, I could have it up and running in 10 minutes. They're like, oh my God, that's a 2-month process and I don't have that. I got to be running my business. We see this with our clinic owners, right? Once we
Right.
make it quote unquote theirs, they would never leave. It's amazing, you know?
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome.
So going down the
So,
list,
yeah,
I'll come back to the dashboard piece, but the support hub, do you see how this flies out? Like this is
I
something
love it.
that you get with the marketer's toolkit. I love the flyout
Yep.
menu. You can also if you want to make it so that way your customers have the option, you can actually have this on their drop down so it changes to accordion
Okay. So
instead of
vertical or fly
flyout.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, and it switches
Awesome.
back and forth, and you get the choice on saying, "Hey, I want my customers to be able to switch it back and forth," or "No, I just want them to have the fly
Yeah.
out or the drop down."
So I want everybody to see that what the functions are that Virginia has done here is number one, she reordered the menu on the left and put support way at the top because if you're new, where are you going to look? You're not going to scroll down or go into settings or go into custom menu link or whatever. You want it up at the top, right? And so when you
Right.
go to support, well, we have a few different types of support. We can do one-on-ones, we can do our get started, we have our library, improvements and wish list, and give us a review. You don't want to make 5 separate left side menu options for all of those. They're all essentially derivatives of the same thing, right? So let's just make
Exactly.
a flyout menu. Yeah, I love that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, Tasks doesn't have its own sidebar, like line because a lot of people feel like there's so much on the sidebar, but for me, tasks is a huge thing, and it's
Oh yeah.
improving more and more. And I even put it up at this top here, so you have the option not just to change your sidebar menu, but also all of here is me.
Again, for those people that are new, I think we're showing so much that can be done. That is very exciting.
Yes.
But I just want to highlight some things. Every business is different, but a lot of the fundamentals are the same. So, for example, tasks for your clients are a big deal. So you
Yeah.
have it. I want to show everybody. Some people will look left side and some people will look up. And what Virginia's talking about is the header buttons. That's the task. Can you kind of hover over that task at the top?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's a header button. And the great news there is those things can go above any of the horizontal menus that GHL natively has, right? And so if you
Yes.
want it to stick there all the time, for example, some people say, I want support there all the time. And notice that tasks are a grayish color. Learn about tasks is a what do you call that? Gradient green, right? To the left. And then Soulcast Studios is a yellow, so they stand out. Because
Yeah.
one of the other things is you can change the colors of everything. So let's go over
Right.
that. Yeah. On the left
Yes.
side menu, your background is a different color than native. And your dark, is that like a charcoal gray as you hover over
Yeah.
different things on the left?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 We use a blue background with white as our hover color, right?
Right.
You can do all of this with the toolkit. All of those are simple things that you can go into update. And we're not going to do it on this call, but if let's just say that you wanted to update the Soulcast Studio color from that yellow to a rich blue color, right? How long would that take you?
Takes me 2 minutes, a minute. I don't
most,
know,
yeah.
really
And then
simple.
push
Like
it to
you
live.
navigate the biggest thing is getting to it, and then you just change the color and boom, it's done.
Right.
That's what I love too, is that it's like all of these things, there's no other system out there that is a third party, or of course not with GHL, that is so granular in the
Yeah.
way you can customize. And to me, granular equals being able to truly brand yourself or brand your company.
Right.
Because anything that is like the littlest, tiniest thing, like for instance, one of the things that really gets me is when you go into get the checkout form for GHL on the website versions and funnels, like one of the buttons or one of the headers, you can never change the color of. And I'm like, what the heck? You should be able to change the color of this blue freaking button. It's so ugly. And then you have to do CSS. Well, the cool thing with the Marketer's Toolkit is that I can with all of it, everything GHL pretty much front end, I can pretty much customize to the color and to the visual I need it to be for my brand. And that was important to me, you know?
Yeah. Now, for clarity, what I would love to do to highlight how powerful the toolkit is, because I love it as much as you, is I want people to realize, I don't think, I always joke with Tom Bristol, the founder and the creator of the toolkit, that he does his best to hide the most amazing features on earth, right? One other feature that just makes sense. Oh, can you go back to sharing your screen?
Yeah, totally.
One other feature that I think just makes sense is, and Virginia had it, and Virginia, I think you probably forgot, you toggled this on long ago, but if we look on the left side at tasks, there's a little, on the left side menu, you have tasks over there.
Oh,
You'll
yeah.
see it's highlighted, and there's a little bubble with a number 1 in it, telling you that you have one uncompleted task. Let's go up to the top. Notice that the task at the top. Tell the user, hey, you have 1 uncompleted, or 6, or 14, or 22, or whatever the number is. And then in conversations, yeah, you have 102. Notice, not only is the number there, but Virginia has coded it a blue color. I've coded it a red color to say, hey, respond to these, right?
Yeah.
But all of those subtle little changes, think about that administrative assistant sitting at the front desk at her boss's company. He's trying to pitch her on how organized we're going to be using a CRM. We bought this, blah, blah, blah. And oh my God, it's going to be great. And she's like, oh, it's just another thing. And then you go, well, how about this? At the top, we'll just put how many tasks you have done. And when it gets to 0, you're done for the day. Don't worry about it, right? It is so refreshing to those people. And that's such a great tool that is just one little detail you can get in the toolkit, right?
Yeah.
Those little number bubbles or task
It's
bubbles.
so cool. It's so cool. It's just such little things that you do forget about. Another thing I really love is when I am doing demos, I have privacy mode. Oh my God, I love it so much. So did you see the left-hand side, how that just grayed out in and out of privacy mode? And I can switch to, conversations and be in privacy mode there. It's wonderful.
Facing. So we just saw tasks are client facing. Privacy mode is client facing, right?
Right.
But what was the first one you did? So reordering your menu was your first thing that was external for your clients, right? What was the first big step you did internally to go, oh my gosh, this would totally revolutionize our workflow? Our clients will never know we did this. They'll never see it, right? But what was the first one you did that just made your life easier?
So, hey, real quick before we jump back in, I just want to take a second because if you're an agency owner listening to this, what Josh and I have been talking about is literally what the Marketer's Toolkit agency program is built for. Like, think about it. You've got clients logging into your GHL account and just getting lost. They don't know where anything is. The menu is built for a tech marketer, not for a chiropractor or a nonprofit or a real estate agency or any type of agency. People just want to know where their appointments are. And when they get confused, they either submit a support ticket, go to chat, or they just leave, and all are expensive for you. Agency Pro is what lets you fix that, not just visually, but structurally. You can set up completely different menus for different types of clients. So your health and wellness clients see something totally different than your home service clients. The stuff they actually need is right at the top. The stuff that they don't need is gone. It's not just hiding it, it's building a whole different experience per location. And then there's the onboarding side. With the system that we have in place, you can have their branding, their colors, their contact info, their social links, all of it preloaded into the account before they ever log in for the first time. It's a whole different first impression. And plus, which is one of my favorites, is you can replace the default GHL dashboard with something that actually represents your brand, pointing them to where they need to go and making them feel like they're in the right place. That's the one thing that cuts your support tickets down massively. This is what I use for every single one of my Soulpreneurs clients. And it's not like I have a big team doing this. It's just my partner and me. And we deliver a polished custom experience because of the toolkit. So go over and grab the Agency Pro membership today, themarketerstoolkit.com, and let's get back to it.
What was the first big step you did internally to go, oh my gosh, this would totally revolutionize our workflow? Our clients will never know we did this. They'll never see it, right? But what was the first one you did that just made your life easier?
So automating upgrades.
Okay, so let's say that somebody has 3 plans, right? And I'm on there's the low plan, the middle plan, the high plan.
Right.
And I'm in the middle plan and I decide Virginia's the best. I want to buy her higher plan, blah, blah, blah. And I know my rebilling date's on the 28th, but today's the 12th and this and that. Now, the upgrade, I'm going to explain a little bit of this because I know as it goes, but the upgrade may, in some cases, you've seen additional features on the left side menu, right? Maybe it has access to other stuff. Maybe it has a user limit. Maybe it has all these features. And previous, you would have to go in and update every single one of those, right? Where you're like, take them off this plan and put them on that plan and blah, blah. But you found out that there's an easier way.
Yeah. So I love having upgraded plans to offer while they're in the service. So for instance, and let me see if I can pull up the lowest plan I have, and I need to unprivacy mode. And
yeah, I'll sit here and be the pretty face while you pull up what you want. So one thing that I don't think you're going to show, but you can have your different plans listed on a Google Sheet. And we're going to reference that Google Sheet in this. But think about it. I'll just use the example of the AI employee. Maybe you have your low plan plus AI, middle plan plus AI, premier plan plus AI. Right now we have 6 plans. And so it's like, gosh, what do I have to upgrade on all these? What if you have an additional thing, like you want this person upgraded to one-on-one meetings once a week or once a month, and then quarterly calls? Like there's so many things. Maybe you add in the community, but all of those are their own plan. And if you establish those on a Google Sheet, Tom has created this amazing way where using native features to reference that Google Sheet, you can make some magic, which I'm hoping you're going to show us.
Yeah. So here's a demo of our Fresh Starter plan. And you can see here that I have in that plan very few things that they get access to: email and text, communities,
so we're seeing
forms.
all of the left side menu there.
Yeah. And this is simple. Some people don't want all the bells and whistles. They just need like very simple things. And so this is one of my plans, but maybe they want the affiliate manager as an upgrade. What I did was, all I did was create a form for them to upgrade. And I said, yes, I'd like the affiliate affiliate manager add-on for $33. They agree to the
Hmm.
terms. They have to sign. So here's their signature. And after they submit that plan, this button unlocks. And that's through the toolkit. So then once they've submitted, immediately they're going to get a new sidebar menu with the affiliate manager unlocked. And the same
Amazing.
goes with any other ones you would want to add here. You can do that through groups with the marketer's toolkit. So what I did was, this is my agency sub account is Soul Software by Soulpreneurs. I'm going to go over into my automations, and then the marketer's toolkit has, and I'm going to click here, fresh starter to affiliate manager.
Hmm.
The toolkit has add-on or additional workflow actions. And so the first thing is the form submitted, and you saw that form.
Right. And
And
this is
then
basic, easy stuff, right? This is not
basic, easy
crazy
stuff.
coding or anything.
So these people
Mhm.
would have already been in the spreadsheet when they first sign up. So when anybody signs up, I had them added to the spreadsheet. What it does is that deletes their specific row and in the
Mm.
one plan that they have first,
Yeah.
and then it creates a row in the new tab, which is the affiliate manager tab in the Google Sheet. And basically, when it changes them to that new row and creates that new row, the marketer's toolkit, there's a sync between the Google Sheet and the marketer's toolkit, and it changes them to the location group that I have assigned with the sidebar
Yeah.
menu that you see inside of
Right.
the sidebar menu of Soul Software.
Yeah. So the reason it's just update the Google Sheet for everybody watching is that's a really simple workflow to build. All we have to do
Yeah.
is just what Virginia did is like, hey, reference this specific Google Sheet, take them off this row, add them to this other tab. We're done. That's the whole workflow. And you could trigger it off a form. You could say, we write a proposal, and when they accept the proposal, we do it. You could do it through a tag. Anything can kick it off. And then you do that. And what Tom has done is like, hey, you guys handle it up to the Google Sheet. The toolkit on the back side of the Google Sheet will run all the fancy automations to change the SaaS plan and do all the billing and all these other things that need to happen. But it's in the blink of an eye, and it's done, and they're upgraded.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's so great.
Another way
Yeah.
that I have used the toolkit action features that I wanted to point out is, and it kind of changed things for me. I have some
Yeah.
really great affiliates that are recruiting people into Soul Software. And those affiliates are actually marketing agents. And so they're maybe building out websites, they're building out workflows and things like that for their clients. And so they're promoting Soul Software, bringing them in. And what does that mean? That means that that affiliate is not automatically added as a user to the location. And also, it means that that new client that Soul Software gets, cannot add them as an admin user into that sub account because they're already in another sub account. It's a weird glitch that GHL has,
Mm,
that if somebody is not an agency user, they can't add themselves to another sub account. It's crazy. So I
right.
had to go in and manually, every time my
Mhm.
amazing client brought someone in, I had to go in and add them as a user so they could go and do their thing
Mhm.
for their people.
Mhm.
And so with the marketer's toolkit action workflow, when somebody signs up on a specific plan that he's referring people to, you could do it through that. There's a form that's filled out. You can do it any way that you want as the trigger. But what's cool
Mhm.
is that I can add a user to a location like that without
Right.
having to do
And
it manually.
if anybody is wondering how magical that is, previously, what you would have to do is go in, pull up the location, add them as a staff member as if they have never seen GHL before, and then they had to get their email, confirm their account, change their password, and then they were added, right?
Yes.
And the success rate of that is not 100%. And so now you have these follow-up emails, and it might just be somebody who is, hey, I'm going to build out your website for you. right? It could be a
Yeah.
simple vendor like that, but you have to do all this back and forth. And again, Virginia's clients are not techie. So that is such a big load for them to add that person. And you're like, don't worry, I'll do it. You ever seen Charlie in the Chocolate Factory where he has all the squirrels shelling the nuts? Do you remember this scene?
Yes. Yes.
That's what I always think of. The magical squirrels are going to do this for you. You don't need to worry about shelling the nuts. We're going to do that for you on the backside. And what they
Exactly.
don't know is that takes one click of a button, right? Is
Yeah.
like, take this contact, add them to this workflow, we're done.
Yes, exactly. I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so I'll go on. Should I tell them about the homepage dashboard?
Sure. Yeah. The two things I want to cover just in our time is let's see, because I think the homepage dashboard can be so powerful. And the second thing is let's also talk about these higher level agency actions and triggers and stuff, because that'll be
Oh, let's do that first.
we've talked about some junior varsity things, some varsity level things, and now let's go into the NFL level players, you know?
Yeah, totally. Something that I am really, really loving is I work with clients that we're doing joint events together. And
Mm-hmm.
what you can do now in the toolkit is one, like, let's say on my sub account, they're signing up for this event. They're signing up for an event on my account. Now, I'm partnering with them. So any leads that
Right.
I get into my account, um, they also need to get because we're partnering. So now with
Yeah.
the toolkit, I can pull in from a form the lead, and then I can actually send that lead and all the contact information to a secondary sub account
Yeah.
right from here.
Awesome.
I
Yeah.
love that.
So think about, let's say that you are a business and you're helping, let's try to think of something that's not in my head. Okay. Virginia, you own a wedding flower company and I own a wedding cake company, right? And
Yes.
we're at
Yes.
a booth at a trade show, right?
Yes.
Now our deal is I'll split the cost with you, but any leads you get, I can email, and any leads I get, you can email. Agreed? Let's
Right.
shake on it. Cool. All right.
Yes.
Lead comes in and fills out our little form, goes to our raffle, enters their info in, and they're in my GHL,
Yeah.
right? Now, in the old days, what I'd have to do is the next day after the event, go through, see who was added through either that specific form or had that specific tag, take a list, export the CSV, because that's the only way I'm going to get it to you, right? And then I email
Right.
you the CSV and you get to import it, right? And now what you're saying is, no, on that form, when it fills out, yes, they automatically get added to Josh's cake CRM.
Yeah.
But right after that, boom, they're getting shot into Virginia's flower CRM. Bada bing, bada boom, my work is done.
That's it. That's it.
And that's one by one. When this gets to scale, like if you're at a large event or you're doing a big promotion or anything, you are talking about hours and hours and hours for every time one person fills out that form.
Yes. Yes,
So that is
exactly.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. The number
I
of
know.
hours you could save with Tom's agency triggers and actions. I'm not kidding you. It's not just time saving. I want everybody to, like, one of the things, like, I'm in healthcare, right? So you run this thing where the admin up front takes the phone call or something, enters in the information, and 17% of the time it's wrong. It's incorrect, right? When you do it with these toolkit options, the data integrity is 100%. If it's Virginia, SCHEUER, it's not misspelled on this side and then gets, like, it is spelled correctly. It's exactly what we have. And you can push across all the information. You can say, hey, I know they're in this location because I'm referencing that location. So even though this looks like
Right.
Fernando Mendoza and they have a Fernando Mendoza, we know they're different. Cool.
Right.
Because this one has this location. There's so much, what would you call that? Residual little fractures of cleanup that you don't have to do when you do it this way.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Totally.
Yeah.
You can update a location. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say is about the custom values, updating custom values, when you're because on the sidebar menu, that form is coming from my agency sub account. How is it supposed to update the other sub accounts.
Right.
That is through the marketer's toolkit, and what it does
Right.
with the action workflow is that it updates the custom values of the different sub accounts. So you got to like
Yes.
think that through. It's not that you just
Can
create
I
a
tell
form
you?
and update custom values because it's just going to update
All
custom
right.
values in your own sub account, right? Like you got to think that through.
Yeah. Here's something that totally blew my mind. And then when I realized it's what you're saying, when you are in your sub account and you sell a customer, so let's say Virginia becomes my customer, many of her custom fields will become her custom values. So let's just say
Yes.
your address as a business in my sub account is a field on your contact, but that will actually become the business address.
Right.
Virginia's preferred hex colors on her custom field are going to become her custom values. So a different way to think about this is it's like an inception thing. If I ask you before your demo, what's your website, what's your address, what's your social handle, and I can now take those and magically have the little squirrels shelling the nuts, push them into every hex code widget thing. And I could preload before your account ever opens. I could preload all your social widgets in the right place with the right symbols. I could preload your hex code colors. I could fill out your brand colors. I could do your logo everywhere in the account before you ever even take the saran wrap off of it, right? Like back in the days of opening up that DVD, before that package is open, it's already in there. And
It's
those are
so
so
cool.
powerful. It is.
And Tom has made it so much easier too with the agency form kit. I'm so excited to get in there and do that. And we'll have to do like
I know.
another one to like go through that because what he's done is blowing my mind as far as how easy. It's even easier
Yes.
than when we did it.
Yeah, and if you're a company that's hiring like a VA, 2, 3 VAs that their sole job is to onboard accounts and go in and build them out and everything, Tom's, what do we call it? What is he? The form kit, the
Agency form kit, yeah.
agency form kit, which is like that describes about 8% of its functionality. It's so much more powerful than just forms in an
Yeah.
agency, like it is so
Yeah.
powerful and it would make your life so easy. If you are somebody that's onboarding hundreds of accounts a week, it is worth taking the couple hours and just doing it. Like just build it
Yeah.
out so it's right every single time with every single account.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Amazing. Well, Virginia, we're about out of time. This has been an absolute adventure. And what I want everybody to see too is Virginia is excited. She's constantly improving this, and it doesn't take long to
Mm-mm.
change the color, improve things. Some of the functionalities are just huge time savers, but you're like a one-woman show, right? Like you're doing this all yourself. So it's not like you have a team of people in the back that's doing a lot of this.
Yeah, yeah. I have a partner. Her name is Misty, and she and I have been working on it, but I am the dev person.
Yeah. As dev person as you are, you're creating these amazing
And I'm
changes and
not a
reorder and everything.
don't get me wrong, like I am
Yeah.
self-made doing all this. So that's
Maybe
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the toolkit gives you dev abilities without having to learn coding or anything, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Okay. So this is one I have to say that if there was a favorite, this is really top for me is being able to replace the actual dashboard that GHL gives us. So every time somebody opens their screen for the business owner, either that dashboard doesn't really tell them what they need it to know, or they just haven't set it up, or it can get depressing over time to come into that every single time. And so we really wanted to have something that represented us and giving people an opportunity to come and do expert hours with us. So this is what we have like right when people come in. You can, and I have had this before as well, replace it with a video. I've done it where I do our podcast. I'll spotlight our podcast right here when they come in. I
Mm,
also created this for all of our users that are a
love
year
it.
or more in the system. I like to highlight them, and it's clickable too. So anytime you click on like a one of these, it'll go to the website that has been created in Soul Software. And then I have like just get started, everything to hook up and everything right here. So this is like right when they come in, and this is something that is only like you can only do this with the marketer's toolkit at this point to be
Yeah.
able to replace the home screen. And
And
also,
oh,
go ahead.
no, I would just say if you look back at all the podcasts that Virginia's done, this is a very common thing, like a best practice, I would say, in all industries, because this is where that contact, when they log in, or your customer is just going to be dumped. And so it's like, hey, if you walk into the lobby, where do you need to go? It's so clear and easy. Now, there's a lot of versions of it, but I would say of all the features I've seen, this might be the most consistent one in all the different industries that you've interviewed.
Yeah, yeah. The other cool thing too that Tom has for us is when you're building, you're basically, this is just a GHL funnel site, whatever that I have iframed in, but the toolkit gives me the opportunity to place in the links to go directly to the menu choices, which is kind of cool too.
Awesome. So
Yeah, so
powerful.
that's it.
So powerful. I think that reduces having that page where it's like, hey, here's where I can find everything and reorder in the left menu. Really, the functional aspect of that is it reduces churn, because confusion leads to churn, and it reduces support tickets. People aren't like, where do
Absolutely.
I build an email? Where do I do this? You're answering their questions as they have them, right? Super easy to find.
Exactly. So, are you convinced if you are using HighLevel as an agency and you don't have the marketer's toolkit yet, what are you thinking? Go grab it right now. And even if you're not an agency, maybe you have it as a singleton, let's get together. I'd love to talk to you more about how we can make your HighLevel into something extraordinary. Let's think about this. Not just high level, but next level. That's what the Marketer's Toolkit will do for you. MarketersToolkit.com. I'll see you inside.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fantastic. Well, Virginia, this has been a pleasure. Let me just tell you, you have built some amazing things, and congratulations. Great work. I mean, I'll let you go back to interviewing everybody else, but I'm so glad that we got to really see under the hood of your business and what inspired you to do these interviews, because to me, it looks like you fell in love with the power of that and you just want to share it with the world, right? And that's why
I do. Tom is like I have to just say that Tom is, out of all of the development guys and people, third-party people to work with for Go HighLevel, he is the top, like the number one, not just top 5. He is the number one guy to work with. I can't say enough about him. I can't say enough about the Marketer's Toolkit. And so it's so my pleasure to be here. And so thank you for interviewing me. That was very special.
Awesome. Well, Virginia, I will wrap this up and I'll say thanks everybody for attending. And if you are not a Toolkit user, check out these amazing features and the other podcasts that Virginia's done to see why everybody who uses it loves this software as an add-on, because it makes our lives so much easier and more functional. Thanks, Virginia.
Thank you. Bye.